Check this out.
Welcome to BLPA Big Show. Hockey sports, life for the adult athletes. Yeah. Powered by the Beer League Players Association.
You better follow me.
Follow us at BLPA Big Show on every social media outlet. Follow the crew on Twitter at Nicker Jones and Trish at Trish Dangle.
Let's get it. Here we go.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the greatest hockey show in the world. Hopefully that didn't cut off like Nick's does. I know it's not as good, but welcome to the BLPA Big Show. You got me, you got Dan. Dan, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Still feeling a tournament this weekend, so a little on the low energy side, but happy to be here. Before we jump into everything, we'll get a little bit of the business out of the way. First of all, if you're a beer leaguer like we are, you should be subscribed because that means you're a good person. And if you're a good person, you'd subscribe to the show. So you can find us anywhere you get your podcasts. That's Apple, Spotify, CastBox, really anywhere. We'd be super pumped if you follow or you subscribe to us there, gave us a review and rated our podcast just so that other people can find us. And then, of course, find us on all the social media stuff. So you follow the BLPA on Instagram and Twitter. Find our group on Facebook if you, for some reason, aren't there already. You can find Dan at the Danny Vibes on Twitter. I'm Trish Dangle on Twitter. And Nick, who is not with us today, is Nicker Jones on Twitter, the Nicker Jones on Instagram. So give us all follows. Everybody's getting a little more active now that the NHL draft is going on. You know, Dan's all over football Twitter. So if you're into that,
just wait for the expansion draft. I am sure I will be displeased with whatever happens.
I'm sure you will, and I will be nowhere near any of that, but I'll be liking, pictures of dogs and stuff over there. So if you're into that, go ahead and follow me. And then, of course, we got to thank our sponsor, Hockey Wolf. Ow, ow, ow.
Oh,
there you go. You're a little behind.
I don't
want
to overshadow your Hockey Wolf. Like, they deserve yells from everybody.
I know we should, but it's more powerful if we do it together. But thank you, Hockey Wolf. I know that I haven't spoken to anyone personally over there, but they're great folks and are trying to make beer league stuff affordable for everybody. We've got some exclusive pieces with them, so you want to check them out. Support them because they support us and they want to support you. So let's all support each other. And thank you to all our Patreon folks. Sorry, I'm not as good at this as Nick because he usually does this part, but we want to say thank you to everybody that supports us on Patreon. So if you want to support the show in a monetary way, you can spot us over there. But otherwise, a lot of folks are looking for ways to support us for free. And hey, like I said, subscribe to the podcast and rate, review us, follow us everywhere, share our posts, all that fun stuff.
Tell us how great we are.
Tell us how awesome we are, how handsome, and how hilarious we are. And that's all we're asking for. Just a little bit of validation from you. All right. Let's jump right in. We're going to hopefully have Nick slot in some BLPA updates here because I'm sure there's some awesome stuff going on in the BLPA that he wants to let y'all know about. But
the Fest is coming up end of the month in Austin.
Yep. Fest is coming up, so that's a big deal. I know the Eagle River jerseys, those designs are starting to come out, which is pretty sweet because that's one that
and I gotta be honest, like as much as I enjoy the first couple that have been shown, I think I like the other ones. Like I like them all, but I think I like the other ones a little bit better. So sign up, just be there, and don't forget about Chicago. Like that's a charity tournament. Like all that money is going towards a good cause.
Yeah, definitely don't forget about Chicago. But also come out to Eagle River with me. Hang out and have a beer with me. I would love that. Unless you're...
Wait, are you not going to play in Chicago?
I don't think I will. Well, I live in the suburbs of Chicago. I don't live in Chicago.
I mean, it sounds closer than Eagle River, but sure. All right. Yeah.
It definitely is. Right now, I will not be playing, but we'll see if that changes.
Wow. Imagine not playing in your hometown tournament. Not everyone gets that,
I know.
That's a big deal.
I know. We'll see. But Eagle River is on my calendar. I'm signed up. I'm ready to go. So
yeah. And then September, 4 in a row.
Yeah, September's gonna be a big
4 in a row. That's gonna be, you got Nashville, Cincy. Oh my God, I don't even know. OKC, I think, is August. Really, just like the next 2 to 3 months are just jam packed.
Yeah, it's going to be super busy. So if you got a free weekend, you're looking for something to do, you should get yourself out to a draft experience and then get out to the fest in Austin. Am I right?
Austin.
Austin,
Huge,
yeah.
huge. Fest is going to be nuts.
Yeah, I'm very excited to. We should definitely have some stories from there to tell, which I'm super excited
Oh, for
about.
sure. I'm sure we'll have stories just because the Dex Express has to make it way down there, and that's about a 20-hour haul. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely going to be some interesting tales from there then.
Oh, I'm sure.
But aside from the BLPA, I was in a tournament this weekend. This was the first weekend of the 3 puck cancer tournament weekends, which is an awesome tournament series that gets put on here in the Chicagoland area to help families with family members battling cancer. So always a really awesome tournament. It's one of the ones that you're going to go to, and like there's not going to be fights, it's not going to be BS. You're going to rock up, you're going to drink with everybody, hang out like in the parking lot, and have an awesome weekend of hockey, and that's exactly what it was. And
Perfect.
the one thing, and I'm a champion, no big deal, but
I
CC
mean,
champs.
are you an
So
A champion
what?
though? Like,
It was the top division, so
yeah, but I don't think it counts.
listen, I am a Dex A champion, so
Yeah, I've got a few.
yeah, I haven't played in as many tournaments as you, so I'll catch up eventually.
I mean, mine
But
only come when we go undefeated, but so it's fine. No big deal.
whatever. So the one gripe I had about this weekend was that the liquor of choice for one of my teams, like the little shots that got brought around, were Pink Whitney.
Oh, were they in the little hockey stick thing?
No, they were just like the little like airplane bottles.
Yeah,
But
so the little airplane bottles come in a hockey stick container now.
no, I think they do, because we have one of those in my house, but you can also buy
Of
them
course you do.
separately, I think.
Oh, I'm sure you can.
Yeah. But
Are you not a Pink Whitney fan?
I'm not. And I know that's like
Do
the
you not like
liquor.
pink lemonade? Like, do you not like happiness?
I do like pink lemonade. I like it a lot, but my gripe with Pink Whitney is that it gives me such a horrendous hangover. Like no fail. If I drink Pink Whitney, I'm gonna get a hangover. And that's what everybody wants to drink at the hockey tournaments now. And it's not I don't think it's the best liquor. I think we need a better hockey liquor.
Trish, there's a few reasons it's causing you a hangover. One, it's full of sugar.
Yeah.
It's just like, I mean, it's not good for you. So, and let's
Tell
be
me the
honest,
liquor
like,
that's good for me.
as the years go on, people get older and hangovers start to become a real thing.
Yeah, no, hangovers have always been a real thing for me though, but I can have
Well,
nights
that's
where
too
I'm
bad.
drinking
Your
a
youth failed you.
I know. But I can have nights where I drink a ton and I mix liquors and whatever and I'm fine, but the nights where I drink any Pink Whitney, I am a disaster the next morning.
Do you throw water in there once in a while, or are you just straight
I do. No,
Pink Whitney?
I throw water in there, especially if I'm playing hockey. I'm drinking water on the bench, so there we go.
Are you
But
eating?
yes. I'm doing all the things
I
I
think
should
you're
be
just
doing.
bad at it. Like, I'm not necessarily
not.
defending Pink Whitney because, like, it's, I don't know, like, could you really even call it like a liquor? Is it not like a liqueur because of the flavor? It's just
No, I think
don't
it's
know.
similar. I think it like falls in the same category as Fireball, right?
Yeah. Fireball's obviously a little bit thicker. I feel like it's a little bit, like, got a little more like caramel texture, however you want to say it. Like, I'm a Screwball guy myself when it comes to the flavored stuff. Like, I love that peanut butter whiskey.
We were drinking that too, and that was
I mean,
delicious.
But
that's also
Ann Arbor
thick.
was fun. I don't think it's thick. I think that's just a whiskey, but
No, it's the same with like. So, have you ever had Sortilege?
you just said a really fancy word that's not in my vocabulary.
Okay, so it's a Canadian maple whiskey, and like I'm sure there's like a French Canadian person, at least one that listens to this podcast, is gonna be like pissed at the way I said that, but it's similar like thickness to Screwball. Like if it gets cold enough, it's very syrupy, in texture, and it's it's like hand over fist better than Screwball, but I feel like Screwball has the same like thickness where it's like, oh, I could pour this on ice cream and life would be really good right now.
Well, you can pour anything on ice cream and it's going to be.
I'm not putting Pink Whitney
better.
anywhere near my ice cream.
Well, you put it on sherbet or sherbet.
No,
I don't think that would be good. Or sherbet.
I think it's sherbet. I've always
whatever
said
it is, that's what you're putting Pink Whitney on.
I know. I think that would be gross. I just want. I want the hockey community to find a better liquor. I don't think we need to keep Pink Whitney going. I'm sure there are like cocktails that it's great in. I get it. It's like fun little marketing, whatever. But like, can we please for us sensitive older hockey players that need to not be hungover for a
But you want
championship
BLPA
Sunday.
bourbon.
BLPA bourbon, absolutely. That sounds
Hey,
like
8 years
the
in the making,
solution.
you heard it here first. If it pops up anywhere else. I mean, let's be honest. We know Randy loves his whiskey, his bourbon, his moonshine.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if BLPA bourbon just suddenly pops up somewhere.
All right. Well,
I'm not saying I know anything. I'm just saying I wouldn't be shocked.
Well, I'll hold my breath for that then, because that sounds way better. I don't want like a flavored something. I want something that's not going to give me a hangover. I mean, but I say
You
that,
just
but
want
the
to go to a bar,
moonshine.
is all I'm hearing. Like, you just want to go to a bar.
No, I don't. I
That's
want to
what it
drink at the
sounds like.
rink, but I want to not be hungover the next day. And I just want to say that Pink Whitney is over. In my books, it's done. Let's stop. We don't need it.
It's for the youngins.
Yeah,
For the
leave it to the kids. Let's bring something else that's gonna be way better for us on Sunday morning.
You're
That's all I
allowed to
ask.
bring something. You can
No, and I
contribute
do.
something
I
other than Pick Whitney.
absolutely do. I do that, but I'm usually like drinking beer most of the weekend. But like, I have a hard time, even as an adult, saying no to a shot, and I know that that's a problem. But
I have a really easy time saying no. It
well,
doesn't
that's
always
good for
work,
you.
but my first instinct is like, no, I don't want that. But
Yeah,
that's not always how it works out, as we have seen.
I think we've all experienced that at one point or another. I'm also seeing on our list here, which is like it's drawing my eye because when we were talking about Screwball this weekend as we're drinking it, someone said it was delicious in coffee.
Oh my god,
I'm-
it's fucking fantastic. You put that shit in iced coffee, oh my god, I'm walking around half chub the rest of the day. Like, I'm ready to go. Like, when I was working from home for the few months, every day it's in my coffee. Every day. Well, it was wonderful. Bailey's is out the fucking door. All you need is black iced coffee, a little bit of Screwball, you're good to go.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't tried it yet, but I will. But I've had Sortilesian coffee, and that's delicious. So I'm cool with Bailey's being done too. Bailey's and Pink Whitney, get out of here. We're moving on from you, and we don't need you.
I like Bailey's, but I think, like, I'm no longer like, if I'm getting tired, like, if someone wants to go to the bar late, I'm like, look, can I get a Bailey's and coffee? Like, now it's like, let me get Screwball and coffee.
Because
I
the
don't need
Screwball
that.
and hot chocolate would be really good too.
It is. It's delicious. Look, I put it in a lot of things because I like it, and it just works.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so why I said that though is because I'm seeing, and I think this might have been a Nick thing, so maybe we'll have to like table this, but maybe you know something about Dutch Brothers, or Dutch motherfucking brothers, as it's
So I
written on
added it.
this.
So Peck talks about it, not a lot, but enough. Peck has these spots, like whether it be in Albany, Colorado, like wherever he is, like he finds the spots where you can just get a good fucking beverage. Usually coffee. And he was talking up, Dutch Bros, and like I haven't had it unless Peck has given it to me, and so to my knowledge he has not. But he had Nick try it this past weekend, and as far as I have heard, Nick is in love with it.
What?
So it is a Nick thing. It was added for that, Peck is like, yo, you better fucking talk about the podcast. Like, dude, I'll add it right now. He doesn't get a choice.
Okay, so we'll have to table that. But
Yeah.
I love a good coffee talk. So, but I saw that and I was like, oh well.
Honestly,
we were talking about putting liquor in coffee. So
Peck got me hooked on like I'm the guy, like I'll get like I'm a basic bitch. Like I'll get something real dumb at Starbucks. Like that's just how I am. I like if it tastes good, I want it. But like one day, like Peck ordered something at Starbucks. Is like, yeah, make that too. Not even thinking. It was just like black cold brew.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Now that's my drink, and it's perfect.
It's so good because
Like
cold
I
brew
was
doesn't
so
have
shocked.
the
And he
acidity.
just gave me the look. He gave you that look. That Peck was like, yeah, motherfucker, I told you.
Yeah, that's
you
good stuff.
It's so perfect. I just get a tall cold brew black. I'm good to go.
Cold brew will change your life. That's
It
for sure.
does. Hot coffee's for bitches.
Hot coffee's still good, but cold brew is where it's at. So I
want
have a
cold
friend
brew year round.
You can do that. I have a
do
friend
that.
who drinks tequila in their coffee. And have you ever tried that? Shout out
no,
Eric
and
Betts.
I love tequila, like a lot, like probably an unhealthy amount. Like everyone goes through their lives like tequila is a roller coaster relationship. It's up and down and up and down. I've only had one down, and it was bad. And then I forced myself to get back into it because when I was younger and going to Canada 6 nights a week, like 2 a.m. my Red Bull wasn't that prominent back then because I'm aging myself a little bit, but my energy drink was a shot of tequila at 2 a.m. After that, I was just raring to go, and I still love it. But in my coffee,
yeah, I'd be curious for
I
your
don't
review.
want to do that. I mean, I'll do it for the show.
Yeah, before next week, give it a try.
Like I have tequila in the house, and I obviously have coffee.
Give it a try
next
before
live
the
show. I'll do it.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good idea. I did not like it, but he swears by it. But he made it for
don't
me
put
in
negative
Vegas,
things in my head about it.
No, but that's
I want to
two
go in fresh.
perspectives.
That's
Somebody
fair.
likes it, somebody doesn't. So we need the tiebreaker decision there.
Yeah, I do it. I try it.
All right, so here we go. Got something to look forward to for the next live, everybody. So moving on, something that I was talking about with somebody this weekend, and I've had this conversation before too, and I don't really understand how it comes up, but I know how it comes up, but having sex before hockey. I have met so many guys that are adamant that they should not, will not, cannot have sex before hockey, or they're gonna have a terrible game. And I don't understand that at all, but
Well, how do you feel about it?
I don't think
yay or nay on the subject?
Have sex whenever you want. That's where I stand on the subject. I don't know. I just don't understand.
Like whenever you see a dong donut?
Obviously, if I see a dong donut,
there are donuts in the house. Trish is coming for it.
Yeah, watch out. But I just don't understand like the mindset of like, oh, I can't have sex before a game or it's gonna ruin my game. Like I'm gonna have a terrible game.
I mean, I used to get it. Like I was of the mindset, like don't do it before the game, don't rub one out before the game, anything like that. I think the idea was that like it would deplete your energy, and you're just not gonna bring it. And like, I think it could go either way. Like if say you get all worked up just before the game, and then you're like, no, I can't do this. So you go play. You're gonna bring the energy because you're gonna have a little bit more pep in your step. But at the same time, if you do it and clear your mind, you're gonna play a lot smarter, a little bit smoother, a little bit more relaxed. So I like in my earlier days, like I was just like, no shot, can't do it, and now I'm just like, yeah, whatever.
Well, because the scouts are gone now.
I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously, like I peaked really young.
Right.
13.
Oh, weird. weird. No, that's interesting. I guess I've never thought of it that way. Like I get the energy thing. I don't know. Like if I'm all wound up,
it's all in your head.
Like I forget about it by the time I hit the ice. But like, that's not gonna, like if I have sex before a game, it's not gonna ruin the game for me. Like I feel like I get, like you said, a little more pep in my step. Yeah.
Like I'm probably be more positive. It's like, hey man, you fucked it up, but you'll get it next time.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna be as mad at myself when I mess everything up as usual.
Not gonna yell at the refs as much because I know you have such a great relationship with all your refs.
I did okay this weekend, actually. I only yelled at refs, I think, once.
I mean, we're pretty early on in the show. I'm just assuming something's going to come at some point because you always have something to say about the refs.
No, I mean, I guess I have a little anecdote, but it's just an anecdote. Like, we have a ref that he refs a lot in the area, and he wears a GoPro on his helmet every single game.
He wears a GoPro?
Every single game. And
Is his name Patrick?
No.
Okay.
Actually, maybe, but it's not that Patrick.
Boy.
So one of my teammates, so I played on a team this weekend where I didn't know anybody. And one of my teammates. I think
that's more fun.
It's super fun. And I played on both, like a team with my friends and then a team with people I didn't know. And because it was a co-ed tournament, so they needed enough females to be, because the rule was you had to have at least 2 females on the ice at a time. So they needed more to round out the roster. But one of my teammates emailed out after the game, like, oh, what happens to like that footage? Does that ref post that footage anywhere from his GoPro? And then he doesn't literally ever put it anywhere. So
he just studies it at home.
Right. And some people, like, because there's been times where we've been playing some pretty serious games and he's messed up a call and we make fun of him, like, oh, why don't you go watch that back and like
pull a GoPro,
tell us, yeah. But I think the overwhelming theory is that the footage is used for personal use. Just because, like, why are you wearing a GoPro during the game if you're not going to use any of that? I don't get it at all. Anyway, that was
Yeah,
the anecdote.
I don't think I've ever seen a ref wear a GoPro. That just,
Yeah.
I mean, especially if he's not posting it, like if he doesn't have like a YouTube channel that he's trying to blow up or something, like,
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know how many people want to watch the refs, but I'm sure there's a market for it.
Well, like I'm sure if you wear it all the time, you're gonna catch some like funny things or some interesting things
Oh,
on there.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Like, oh my God. Like, if I were recording some of the stuff back when I was reffing, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so like I'm sure he could do something with it, but I've literally never
Unless
seen
he's just,
it
you know, at
anywhere.
home, it's just like, oh, I got, you know, just practicing his puck drops. You
If
know,
that's what it is, he
how
would be
fast can he
better
get
at
his arm
dropping the
up?
puck. Not very fast.
Is he blowing his whistle with consistency?
I will not comment on the performance of this ref.
You know, I had a ref in my game last week,
Mm-hmm.
and like normally, like beer league refs, like they kind of like stick to the corners when like it's the puck starts coming down low, because behind the net just isn't safe. Like, you know, it's not like the NHL where like they're moving around, they have forward
It's
bodies
not
out
even
there.
safe for the players back there.
Not usually. And I don't know what this kid did, because it's summer, so like they're just straight up hot, like kids that just graduated bringing their whole like senior class onto the ice now, and it's a pain in the
Mhm.
ass. I don't know what this kid did to me in front of my net, but it pissed me off. So I tripped him, like, and not like I took out
Damn.
his foot, like my stick was like up by his side, and I just ripped it out from him, and I was just like, "Fuck you, kid!" And like right behind him, like I couldn't see her, is the smallest ref I've ever seen, and she just like looks at me and slowly puts her hands up. And like I look at her, I was like, "Why are you standing?" Like she's standing next to my goalie. I'm like, "Why are you
Mhm.
standing there?" She's like, "That's tripping." I'm like, "I'm aware of the call, but like if they
What
rip
are
a
you
slapper, you could
doing?
get hit in the face."
Yeah.
But like she was just like hiding behind somebody that I happened to trip on purpose.
But the
She was
point is, she
real
was out of
timid the whole
position.
time.
I
Like,
feel like you can't do like if you're gonna ref beer league, like even if you're gonna be like real bad at it, you gotta be confident in what you're doing.
yeah, I mean the call is right, but she was like afraid to tell me. She was like, "No, I'm aware of what I've done.
Yeah.
I
Like it
just
was
didn't expect you to be right behind the guy that I was doing it to."
I'm more worried about where you are on the ice right now than
Well,
my
they're the other
penalty.
team's best player, and it was very obvious that like this kid is a sub. He's wearing gear that does not match the rest, like whether it's
Mhm.
juniors or ECHL. Like I didn't recognize the logo, but like he's just, you know, fucking killing it.
Mhm.
He broke his stick at the far point from his bench, and just like, you know, broke it in half and picked up the other half that was broken, and just like didn't skate back to his bench, just kind of like walked, like if you could walk on ice, like real slow.
Yeah.
And like we're yelling like, "Oh, that's a penalty! Drop the penalty!" And like the girl's just like, "Drop it, please, please drop it!" And I'm like, "Oh my God, just fucking yell at him or like raise your hand!" Like it's
Yeah,
it's
that
a
drives me
penalty. Like
insane.
at any point, because like the play's still moving on, and it's moving pretty good. Like this, like anyone could have bumped into that kid and stabbed themselves, and like, you know, that stuff doesn't come out of your skin.
Yeah. That's my least favorite thing, and GoPro Ref does this too, where like I mean he's a little louder than that, but he'll just be like, careful, careful, careful. I'm like, if something's going on, you need to actually address it. You can't just
Oh,
sit there
I
and go
always hear,
careful,
"Watch the
careful.
sticks." It's like,
Yeah,
look, dude,
that
relax.
at least has some sort of direction, not careful, careful. I'm like, that's the dumbest thing you could be saying right now. And in any situation, it irritates me. Anyway. There, I had something bad to say
There,
about a
yeah, we
ref.
talked about refs. I
We
still
got there.
love
We
refs.
got
Like
there enough.
they're still good refs. I
We
had a
had
bad
some
ref tonight, but we
amazing
won't
refs
talk
this
about 'em.
weekend too, and
That's
like
good.
it, you know, I love going to a charity tournament and having good refs and them calling a fair
I
game.
love having good refs in general because, like, I try not to give refs too much shit because I have refed, but like when they're good ones, like I just want to go shake their hands, like, "Hey, good fucking game, man! Like you controlled it, you didn't let shit get out of
Mhm.
hand, you called what needed to be called, but you let us play." But it's so
Yeah,
few and far between these days.
for sure. No, I usually will like, or I'll reach out to them to ref for the women's league because we're always looking for really good refs there because there's a lot
Why
of
don't you
refs
ref?
that. No, thank you.
It's great.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't pay enough attention to ref. I think if I don't think I can do a good job, then I'm not going to do it. And I think I'm too flighty in the brain to actually pay enough attention. I get distracted too easily
I'm
with
of the
my
mindset that
squirrel.
there should be a ref like in one of the boxes watching because that's where you see it all.
Right. But what beer league is going to pay for a ref like that?
I mean, the NHL doesn't
No
even do it,
one.
but that's why
That's
they have
right.
Toronto.
Yeah, that would be our Toronto. I had another like I've been my new favorite thing. Watch out, everybody is screenshotting posts from the Facebook group when I see a good
Jeez.
one that I'm like, oh, I want to talk about that.
Have there been good posts? There's been one or two people commenting where like it's to the point where like Nick has said, be like, hey, don't be a dick. Like,
Yeah, no, this one was an actual like question that I felt I specifically was curious about your thoughts. So,
okay.
this was from Michael Shepard Jr. He said, game time and the other team doesn't have a goalie. They insist on forfeiting but play with 6 skaters. Does it change the way you play?
So I have experience with this just because like no one wants to be the team that like lights up a team that doesn't have a goalie, right? But you also don't want to lose. So like in your mind, it's like, well, all right, well, we'll go up a few and then this. But the team that doesn't have the goalie is probably playing smarter, a little bit harder. You would hope. I wouldn't want to forfeit. Usually, like I always was like, hey, let's just fuck it. Like you guys take the win, we'll throw sticks, send the refs home, fuck them. No one ever goes for it. I'll also try that like a team where I know that's just gonna kill us. But no, I was subbing for a team, and like it's a close game. Like we're either up by 1 or down by 1, and like the other team scored, and one of our defensemen like usually plays goalie, and he's pretty good at it. And he mentioned just like casually, like not rude, no tone to our goal. I was like, hey man, just watch your angles on that. And the goalie just lost his shit.
Ooh.
Like started screaming at him, like broke his stick, flipping out, and then left.
Okay.
Like just left. We didn't have any subs. Like I was the sub, and we were still Iron Manning it.
Fun.
Yeah,
that's
but so like
a goalie, not a common goalie thing, but like some goalies are very sensitive about feedback, especially if they like don't know you play goalie or whatever. Like,
yeah,
or if they're just like super in their head for a
years,
game,
like years. So like, and I asked, was like, what the hell's that? I was like, I don't know. He's probably on drugs. Like, oh, that's cool.
Fun,
I guess.
Also another
but it was just like,
thing.
Yeah, it suddenly became a game like, all right, we need to keep the puck and we have to be smarter with it. And I'm pretty sure we ended up winning, but the other team definitely like scaled back. Because one, like if they come too hard and we're being patient and controlling the puck, we'll beat them on an odd man rush. But at the same time, like if they go too hard constantly and just light us up because we have no goalie, I don't know. Like I think you see it a lot, like in the beginning of some first periods for men's league, where like the goalie's just not ready yet, and like refs got to start it, so they start it, and like it's usually just a bunch of passing it around. But for a whole game,
yeah.
I mean, if you're the team without a goalie, like accept it that you're probably going to lose, but don't try to. Play your game.
Right.
Like, because if you shut it down and like play smart and control it, like you could definitely sneak a win out of that because the other team will get relaxed, thinking they could just throw it at the net.
Right. I don't know. I have a hard time because like I think we've talked about this in a few different aspects of like just because you're winning by a big margin doesn't necessarily mean you gotta ease up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it depends on the team too that you're playing against. Like you're saying you're not forfeiting. Like you don't want to take the loss. So I'm gonna play the game the same way we've always played the game and come at you, and hopefully you're playing smarter. That's obviously not going to go well for you, but I don't know. I think at a certain point, maybe if it gets a little, because that I think can get a little boring. Like if if you do end up controlling the game, you've got a hefty lead, then I think it's like, all right, well, you didn't want to forfeit, but we're going to start playing posts just to make it a little more challenging.
Yeah, and like I think the issue like with forfeiting, like there are a lot of men's league that like force a team that's forfeiting to pay extra money, which is just like I don't want to do that.
Right. Which is totally fine. And like I mean our league has 0 penalties for literally anything because it's so terribly run. So a forfeit literally means nothing. Like yeah, you have a forfeit, there's nothing that's going to happen to you. Now the ice is just empty for an hour because nobody's going to show up to play.
And that's the case. If that's the case, like I'm just going to go out there and goof around.
Yeah, for sure. And that's happened once or twice, but like it's hard to get people out there to kind of use the ice, or the rink will just say, well, no one's playing, so we're going to, like, if you're the last game of the night, they're not going to let you skate anyway. But yeah, I'm going to skate no matter what, but it's going to change the way I play for sure. Like I'm not going to feel as obligated to go as hard, especially if they're not holding their own. But if they're a team that's confident enough to say we're not going to take the forfeit and we're going to play with 6 skaters, like they might be able to pull something off there.
Oh, absolutely. Like you can sneak away with that.
Yeah.
Like you can definitely catch to do that.
Yeah, so I'm going to play the same for the first little bit and see how it goes. That's my
I get it.
thoughts on that. And then, like I said, if it's like not challenging anymore, sure.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's obviously different for us
supposed
because
to
we're,
something like
we
that.
play defense.
Yeah,
So
I
like,
mean,
I don't have to worry about scoring on the empty net probably.
yeah, I'm not a power forward by any means, so
No.
whatever.
Unless I'm playing that Dex defense.
Then obviously. Have you seen the new Space Jam movie?
No. I had plans to watch it this past weekend. I had a lot of stuff going on this weekend.
Is it? Are you
so
were you a big fan of the original?
Oh my god, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And like, I hate basketball, but like,
Well, I
I
mean,
loved
basketball's just a
Roadrunner and
backdrop.
Looney Tunes, all that stuff. So, like, I was all about Space Jam as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I am all for the new one. I hope it's good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it will be. If you've watched it, please don't tell me.
I haven't yet, but I definitely want to. I haven't heard any, like, at least from people
I haven't seen
trust.
anything on it, which is interesting to me.
Yeah,
I know I saw one thing where like someone was saying like, "Hey, yes, this movie's goofy. It was made for kids, not your 35-year-old ass. Shut the fuck up." And I was like, "That's fair," but at the same time, like, do you remember when Toy Story 3 came out?
Oh, that was for the adults.
That was not for the kids at all. Like, holy crap! Like that was for our generation. I was all that hit me right in the feels.
Yeah, I have a feeling that this Space Jam though is gonna have a lot of Easter eggs where it's like, oh, those are like fun little nostalgia bits for everybody.
Oh, it's got.
But it'll be I'm super excited.
I'm all for it. And like I have HBO Max just because I had HBO before, and then HBO has like 15,000 different versions of their streaming service, but Max seems to be the one to have. It's really weird. And they just keep putting movies on it, but they don't charge me extra the way Disney Plus does.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's awesome. So like, what was it? Godzilla versus Kong. Just you could watch it, not a big deal. Like they only give you like 30 or 60 days to do it.
Yeah, but
so it's not just on there forever. But like, hey, we're releasing it on both. Like I think it's any Warner Brothers movie right now.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like when like the Justice League stuff came out, like all that stuff. Like you just watch it; it's just included. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying Disney Plus should do that, but they should fucking do that.
But they make money, so they will not.
Yeah, which upsets me because and this kind of goes into, I think, the last topic we have, at least planned. Like, plans are stupid. You just gotta roll with it.
Plan.
Like I was in a wedding last weekend, and the groom was like, "Hey, do you want to go see Black Widow at midnight?" And I was like, "No, absolutely fucking not."
Wow.
Well, why not? It's like, well, because I'm waking up at 5 a.m., so I don't want to stay up for a Marvel movie that I'm not all that interested in to begin with, and it will just be in Disney Plus in 6 months.
I have heard such good things about Black Widow, though.
I've heard it's good.
I mean, I
but
get
I think
that
it's
in that
only
scenario,
going to be. I think it's only good because they've learned. Like, let's be honest. Like the first 2 Thors, meh, and then Ragnarok was hilarious and wonderful, and Guardians of the Galaxy is funny. Iron Man has comedy in it, like Spider-Man. Like Marvel has to go the comedy aspect. So I think it's just what you're going to see in every movie.
That's fair. I don't have like strong opinions on Marvel movies or anything, which is
I think I did when they first started, but now there's just so many. It's like, yes, I will watch that.
Yeah, once you like get going, it's like, well, I probably should watch the rest of them then.
Yeah, and in my mind, there are days, there are weekends where like I want to watch all the Mighty Ducks, I want to watch all the Star Wars, Indiana Jones, all that stuff. But it's like there's no weekend. It's like I want to watch all the Marvel movies because that'll take 4 weeks or something ridiculous.
Yeah, the total runtime for like all of those Marvel movies is ridiculous. It's like you need to take a week off work.
Like you could watch this year's entire Stanley Cup playoffs in a shorter amount of time than watching all the Marvel movies.
That's probably statistically
probably last
correct.
Year's with the extended bracket too. You probably squeezing both in there.
That'd be probably very accurate. Yeah.
Isn't it great when the best team wins every year?
I just don't care that much. I'm like a bad hockey person because like I really care about like beer league hockey and like my leagues and playing in those and then, I watch the NHL. I like watching games, but I just don't like get super invested.
I mean,
I
I
don't
do,
know.
especially because it's my team doing the winning.
Right. Well, and you're like a stats guy. Like you pay attention to that
I wouldn't
stuff.
say
Not
stats guy.
stats, but like you pay attention to players and like
I pay attention to like it. That's mostly that is like Nick and I have a love for like fantasy sports,
yeah.
and with that, like that's where you just start learning players.
Right. And that's not something I would ever be interested in. So it does
But
like all
you
that stuff just
should be.
doesn't stick. But I'm just not gonna be.
Just do it. It's great.
I tried. We did like a little fantasy league with some of my friends this season and like everybody just forgot about it. And I think part
This
of that is
season
like
was
we didn't have
tough.
the banter, like we didn't have like a group chat or anything where
Well,
we
and,
could
and
like
that's
talk
what you need. Like
smack.
you gotta
Yeah.
talk smack. Like fantasy football, like me and my buddy have been doing been in the same leagues together for years.
Mhm.
And like we want to talk shit. Like we were working together times, so like there were times, and you won't get this because you don't I don't think you know football very much. But must have been like 7 years ago. I had Antonio Brown, who at the time was the best receiver, like in the game, period. And I was talking to the guy I was working with, and he had Julio Jones, who, if he wasn't the best, he was very close and second best. And I was like, you know what, man? He's always hurt. You should take this other receiver that I have and give me him. And he did it. And I dominated that year, and I just made fun of him for the rest of the time. Like, it's all about the banter. Like, it's all about chirping
Yeah.
each other.
Well, like I've seen the league. So, I get that
yeah,
that's
but that's what everybody wants the leagues to be, and it's very hard to get that because you need people to be invested. And unfortunately, with that, it usually has to do with money. So, like, I know people like, oh, it's only $10. I'm like, okay, because you said that, no one is gonna care.
right.
Like 6 weeks in, they're done. Like my minimum for leagues, like if I run is 25, I like to stick around like 50 to 100 because like those are the people that are locked in. Like they
Mhm.
will respond to trades, they will respond to shit talking. Like I know we did a couple free BLPA leagues this year, and like I joined them, but I forgot about them.
But it's also different for you if you have other leagues going on. Like I would imagine being in multiple fantasy leagues is just so exhausting.
I did 7 1 year.
That's too many. That's too many.
Yes,
Especially for
it was.
football. No.
Yep, it was.
No.
It was a mistake, so I scaled back down to like 2 or 3 because I couldn't do it. Like I was like, yeah, like 1 year I was in like 2, and I was like, next it was 5. I was like, yeah, let's do 7. Why not? This will be great. I won 1 league, but I like those guys are just idiots. Like we would do it. I like to do like a live draft party where everyone's in person or drafted.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And those guys would always want to do it on a Saturday night at 10 o'clock. And I would get there at 10 o'clock, and they'd be either stoned or drunk and just making dumb fucking picks. And I'm stone cold sober, just reaping the benefits. Just like,
you're that
I'm going to
guy.
win this year. And that
You're
was a
that
$100
guy.
league with 12 teams. So I'm just like, this is awesome. Then they stopped
Don't join
running
a
it,
fantasy
unfortunately.
league with Dan because he's
No,
gonna
do it.
be the fun
I
runner.
play the how the board falls.
Okay,
And when
so
you're dumb and are taking like I think 1 year like Tyrod Taylor was the Bills quarterback, you won't know him. No one will know him. Like the guy was like, gotta have the Bills QB in the first round. I'm like, oh my god, you're fucking stupid. Love it. Love it.
So when you win those leagues, do you give a speech? That's a segue.
No, it doesn't. The speech is like so the wedding I was talking about that I was in technically happened last year. It was supposed to happen last year during COVID. It's a good friend of mine. Like I was the best man at the wedding. Very good friends with him and his girlfriend. They were supposed to have it here, 7-Eleven. Like it was, they were gonna have a slushy machine. The whole thing here. COVID, basically said, get fucked.
Everybody that was getting married
last year, I got a text like 3 days prior, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna get married at the lake at the base of Mount Hood because they live in Portland, Oregon now. If you want to fly out, no pressure." And I'm like, I'm the best man. Like, I can't fucking miss that. That'd be terrible.
And also, that just sounds sick. So.
Well, it would have
Absolutely,
been,
yeah.
but I because at the time COVID was. I mean, let's be honest. Like last year, COVID was like every day was worse than the one before.
Yeah.
And this was July, so I was in and out of Oregon within 24 hours.
Wow.
And like I flew into Portland, rented a shitty little car, booked a Holiday Inn or something, and then had to drive 2 hours outside of Portland to get to the lake. They got married. It was awesome. And then I was flying out like 6, 7 a.m. the next morning. So like I was in and out. So I got to see Mount Hood, which is beautiful, by the way. But I saw none of the city except the homeless people.
Fun.
Yes. So it was probably a month and a half from today. Me and the girlfriend were at dinner, and she's like, "Hey, so I saw on Katie's Instagram that the wedding's on." I'm like, "What do you mean the wedding's on? We already did that."
The wedding happened.
What? Like I was there. I flew. Like I distinctly remember flying across the entire country for that.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "No, just text her. She says it is." And then Andy said he was going to text all the groom, and I'm like, I just gave her a look like he fucking didn't. And we're supposed to buy suits, and those don't come tailor fit.
No.
So I sent it like he was texting something about a hockey event to me and my buddy Nate, who might be at Laurel, Maryland, by the way, the Washington D.C. Decks Labor Day weekend. I hope so, because that's going to be a good one. By the way, the theme for that, I don't think we've peaked it yet. Oh my god, it's going to be magnificent. It's going to be so ridiculous. I can't wait.
I get so pumped to see the themes.
Oh, it's the best. It is. It's absolutely fantastic. Yeah. And like every once in a while, Nick just comes out of nowhere, like just this shit. Like, hey, what if we did this? We're like, oh my god, that's amazing. We all do it. Like, there's group chats. Everyone has input. Like even the BLPA, like, hey, what about this? Like we're always listening to themes, but everyone else always has to tell us about a theme. Anyways, so he says something about like whatever hockey game, and I was like, hey, it'd be really cool telling us that the wedding's happening in a month. And he's just like, oh, like I had a draft saved. Like
that feels like such a groom thing to do.
So it's just him. It's the way it's always been with him throughout our entire lives. Like we didn't make plans with Andy. It was we would make plans and then pick him up.
Gotcha.
And we would just go do it because you just can't do it. Mm-hmm. So the reason I added the speech is, wing it or prepare is like I had to give a speech.
Mm-hmm.
And like I had, years at this point to think about it. And I had a lot of ideas in my head, like, I should write this down or I should write this down. And maybe I did write some of it down. I don't know. Like by the time he asked me best man, by the time we actually had to give the speech, it's like 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that morning he asked, like I had asked him prior, because when he comes in, like he just fucks up my whole week. Like he flies in Monday night. He's like, hey, do you want to go to Pittsburgh tomorrow? I got to go forge my wedding ring. I'm like, oh, dope. Yeah, I'll just take off of work.
That was the Pittsburgh trip.
It was awesome, by the way. Definitely recommend it. Barefoot Forge. Craig runs it. Coolest dude in the world. He gets you drunk. You forge stuff. He feeds you. It's absolutely a wonderful experience.
The forging stuff is so cool.
Oh, I love it. So I asked him, I was like, all right, Andy, what's off limits for this? He's like, oh, I don't know. Nothing. I'm like, poor choice. Because, like, seen you do a lot of dumb shit in our lives. So we'll just gloss over that. And I asked him specifically, I was like, does anybody not know that you got married last year?
Oh, good call.
And he was like, no, everyone should know. I'm like, okay.
Should know.
Because I'm gonna mention it.
Oh, no.
Anyways, this day of the wedding, like, we got our haircuts in his hotel room. Like, my barber came out.
Mm-hmm.
We got a little lubricated, not in the sexy way.
Whatever pre-wedding shenanigans happen can stay in the hotel.
Yeah, like I brought some really good beers. His brother bought some really good scotch. Like this shit was smooth. Like by the time we got to the wedding venue for pictures, one of the grooms was like, "I'm fucking toasted," and I'm like, "Oh dear, can you just shut up and stand over there?"
That happens though.
Well, I was given a rule by the bride to like, he's like, you can only give him one drink. I was like, okay, I can only give him one drink.
Then you
so I gave him a beer. And everyone else gave him many other things.
Yeah. I feel like that's a tale as old as time.
Yeah, dude, it was wonderful. It was scotch. It was great. And it got to the point where like we're taking pictures and like he goes, I love my wife. And me and Nate and Dave are just like, oh shit, maintenance mode. Here's the bottle of water and a light beer. We need to just lock you into this zone for the next hour or so.
Yeah.
Anyways, like I don't want to say the wedding was disorganized, but he didn't tell me the order of like the speeches either. So, like, you know, I have to ask the bride, I'm like, hey, when do I talk? Like, I imagine you want me to do that.
Do I get to?
Like, is that a thing that I'm doing? She's like, oh, absolutely. I'm like, cool. when? She's like, well, we're going to do matron of honor, maid of honor, you, and then the dad. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Why the fuck does the dad get to go last? How dare he?
We don't argue that. You
I
don't
did.
argue with
I
the
was just
bride on
having
the
fun.
wedding day.
I was, look, at that point,
even as a
Trish,
joke.
I was a little sassy, all right? Like, I got
Mhm.
sassy with the photographer. She didn't like my ideas. It's fine. Let's be honest, Danny
At
Vibes
your
came out a little
wedding,
bit. It was wonderful. Everyone else had fun.
at your wedding, you can be sassy all you want. At somebody else's
Hey,
wedding,
and
you
you
don't
know
get
what?
to
I
be
fucking will
sassy.
be. All I know is that I bet the best wedding pictures are of me squatting the groom.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyways, so matron of honor goes, cries. Yeah, that she has a typed up thing. Maid of honor goes, cries, has a typed up thing. Hands me the mic, and I'm like, I look at my girlfriend. I'm like, all right, here we go. She's like, you ready? I'm like, we'll find out. Because
You
I
just
didn't write
winged it.
anything down. And
That's
I was
brave.
more concerned about stumbling over my own words. But I was in the zone. Not 100% sure what I said. Not because
There's
I was
video of
vibing
it
too
somewhere,
hard.
I'm sure.
Oh, there is. There were 100% is like they had me
Yeah.
mic'd up.
Oh,
Yeah. So
mm.
there's probably some gold on
You're
there.
gonna be in their official wedding video. That's
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait to hear it.
gotcha.
And the only reason I can't wait to hear it is because
It'll be new for you.
it's I have an idea of what I said. I didn't not know what I said because I was drunk. It was just because it's the same thing with with us and Nick in the podcast. Like, hey, what'd you talk about? Well, I don't know.
I don't remember.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
We literally just said it. No idea what we said.
Yeah, that's because I'm blackout drunk every time we do this.
Well, I mean, that's why you bring the energy.
Yeah.
All I know is that both the matron and maid of honor were mad at me because they said my speech was better. His dad said it was. Everyone said great things. I'm like, awesome.
You're just a good
Can't wait to hear
speaker.
it. Can't wait to hear it.
Yeah.
So the question is, and like I'm not gonna like a lot of this was jerk towards Nick because he MCs the tournaments. Obviously,
Yeah,
Randy
yeah.
MCs tournaments too. And I've seen Randy prepare at least for the first one that he MC'd. But like, do they prepare it at all? Is it just like, all right, I have somewhere to like a board to jump off of, and then I just roll with it?
Yeah. My guess for Nick would be, I mean, I'm just gonna guess on behalf of him because he's not here, so I'll speak for him, and that's his fault for not being here. I think he wings it. I really do. I think he's just like when Nikki Commish comes out, he just kind of goes with the flow and says what he needs to say and gets out of there. And I think I want to be really confident in that because he's not like checking a lot of, it doesn't seem like he's mentally checking boxes as he's talking. Like he's just kind of saying what he's saying, and then he'll pick up if he forgets something towards the end or someone will remind him and he'll say it. But I think he genuinely does just like wing it and has a really good idea of what he wants to say, and he speaks from the heart a lot of the time,
which is good. I think.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think I would love to be a person that is able to do that. And I'm not often in a place where I need to do speeches though. Like I spoke at my sister's wedding, and but I wrote a rap as my speech, so it was very different than like
You're one of those, huh? You went
gimmicky. I went gimmicky, but that was like before a lot of people were doing it. I thought it was pretty original, and it went over really well. And like my sister,
so 8 years in the making, you started it.
8 years in the making. But my sister is not like a super emotional person, so it wasn't appropriate for me to get up there and like have some sort of emotional speech, and that's also just not how I am. So I'm not going to do that.
Forget that. That's your time.
Right, and it was my time. I really took that time and took the stage and did that. But I did, and I think I'm kind of a little bit of a squirrel. So if I see something shiny, I get distracted, and I don't think I would do well winging a speech if it was an important time.
I think I think you can do it.
I disagree.
I think everyone has that in them.
That's all. I disagree.
At least a little bit.
I mean, I'm sure I could, but I'm also very critical of myself, so I would be like right after I'd be like, oh, I should have said this, and I don't want to live with that. I'd rather like be relatively planned out or have some sort of outline to follow. Like, I mean, I've done many presentations and had to speak in front of crowds of kids all the time, and like that, fine, great, I'll wing that all day long and no problem. But if it was something that had importance, like at a wedding or something like that, I would definitely want to prepare something just so I know I was So I know I took the time to think about it and like kind of rack my brain for really important things or like fun things or memorable things and make sure that I had some of those pieces to say. Because if I'm winging it, I'm not going to think of all the things, the really important and fun things that I want to say. That made no sense. This is why I shouldn't do speeches.
No, that's
right
fair.
there.
But no, I agree. Like I think Nick, Nick definitely speaks from the heart when he does these. And I think part of that's why people connect with him so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because he just like throws it all out there. Like, and Randy can be the same way. Like like I said, I've seen Randy prepare. Like he knows what he wants to say,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually, like once he gets into the groove, like Randy, like he crushes it. Him and Nick are fantastic MCs of these things.
Yeah. And I think that's like the perfect balance of a good speech is one that you know what you want to hit on, but it's not all scripted. That like you can mix both speaking from the heart and like hitting all the points that you know are important.
Yeah, and I think that's important because obviously, like, with the customer base or everyone that goes to the decks, like, if you're speaking from the heart, like people are going to realize they're gonna look at you like a person, not as someone that's just running the tournament, which is obviously like what Randy and Nick strive for.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the total vibe of those tournaments.
Yeah,
so
all
it makes
inclusive.
sense
Let's
to
be
not
friends.
be exactly all inclusive. Did you see it? Nick, I mean, again, Nick's not here, but he was eating sushi at the airport. Posted about it on Twitter. I was like, oh, that cost you $200?
I want to say I saw that. No, I did see that because I like you like that was pretty good. That's always the joke, obviously, is like $200 sushi dinner.
Yeah.
Only invite only, and that's very much like fuck that.
Yeah.
Now we paid like $4 for that, and
He
hopefully
said it was
didn't pay for it later.
$20.
That's, I mean, you think airport sushi? That's not bad.
Honestly, no, I was surprised because that's my first thought. Anytime I see anything at the airport, I'm like, oh, I mean, that's gonna be 8 times the regular cost, and especially sushi. Like, and not that grocery store sushi is expensive, but sushi is the more expensive food. So I was like, oh, that's gonna be up there. But
yeah. Sushi Thursday.
Oh, nice. What's your favorite sushi roll?
Oh, I always go with the special rolls for sure.
Mm.
But if you're like the generic plain Jane, it's spicy tuna or spicy crab.
Sure. Yeah, I'm a spicy salmon girl myself.
But if it's a place like a real Japanese place that'll do the curry, it's curry. Fuck sushi.
Japanese curry. I know Nick loves
curry too. It's
good.
so good. That tonkatsu curry all day, every day. Don't care.
Next time we're all at a draft, we should get some sushi. Also, we need to do like a live podcast at a draft.
We do. I'm planning Eagle River. Obviously, Nick will be there, so maybe that's the one. I mean, should that be the one?
Airbnb.
No, Nick's trying to get us all to rent a hotel, but it's like one that has like 6 rooms. But it's on the lake.
What?
Like, it's all on the lake.
Oh, okay.
Like that's the thing. Like if we do it on the lake, I think that'd be great. Can we rent a boat and like do it on the water?
I think I don't feel good about bringing technology on the water. Not to be a party
It'll
pooper, but I don't want to do that. I'm gonna say.
Don't be a butt baby, Trish. Just do it.
I'm gonna be a butt baby about
just do it. Be a dong donut.
Don't be a butt baby. Be a dong donut. Oh my gosh. So I know we talked a little bit about not doing a would you rather a fight liney cut, but I actually found one that I found one on my phone actually that I saved from our buddies Howie's Hockey Tape. I know you can't see Dan right now, but he's got a Howie's koozie on his beverage today.
And you know what? I had this before they were one of our sponsors.
Oh, really?
But pumped to have them on board.
Yeah, they're quality koozies from them, I will say. They're no Summer Skates koozies, but
nothing is
definitely good. So would you
2
rather
2 for $20 at the decks? Just saying.
Blue or red, or both?
One of each.
Definitely both. One of each.
Always. Okay.
Always one of each. All right. Would you rather trip on a penalty shot or miss an empty netter?
Oh God. So that sucks because I haven't tripped on a penalty shot, but I've definitely fucked up on a shootout and lost the puck.
That's rough.
Which is worse, let's be honest.
Way worse.
Trip on miss an empty net.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I miss plenty of empty nets.
Right.
Like
I think so.
like as anybody, my shot is trash. So I would
So
rather.
but we're gonna talk.
I'd rather miss the empty net. Just
like
because,
breakaway empty net.
Yeah, I'd rather miss it.
Why?
I honestly have, and this is stupid, more confidence on the penalty shot.
Oh.
Just my experience. Like, actually, the first Colorado Springs, I made a bet with a goalie, Mickey, great guy. At the draft party, he was like, it came out of nowhere. Like, he's buzzing a little bit, and he's just like, "You won't score me." I'm like, "How about if I do? You have to buy a shirt, and if I don't, I'll buy you a shirt." And he was like, "Oh yeah, let's do it." So I did it, and I just fucking took his pants off and threw it in there. It was great. Like, I got behind his D, and I just like a quick left right in. He just tried real hard to keep up, and I just it's easy. Like, I didn't snipe him. I just deked the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Because I can't snipe anybody, and I don't even have dekes. Like, my move is left right. Like, I'm just going from side to side. So really, if you just stand still, I'm gonna fuck it up. But no goalie ever stands still. No good goalie ever stands still, I should say.
Yeah. Wow.
So I would definitely rather miss the empty netter. Well, that and if they have an empty net, I would imagine you're already winning the game. So who cares?
Well, that's the thing too. Like, if it's a penalty shot, is the game on the line? It could be. Probably not.
Yeah, it very well could be. You never know.
I don't know. I think I would. I mean, I make so much fun of people that miss an empty net.
Yeah,
and I do it. I do it knowing.
We do it.
I know. I do it knowing in my heart that I would 1,000% miss an empty net every single time. But yeah, if it's an empty net, you're probably up. If it's a penalty shot, it could go either way. But I think tripping is so funny. Like, anytime I trip more often when there is literally no one around me on the ice than if I get...
Do you take care of your skates, Trish?
That's neither here nor there.
That's a no. Oh. See, I'm if there's one thing that I'm on top of, it's my skates.
No, I think I do a pretty good job, but I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think I just get flighty and kind of lose track of my feet, and then I fall.
This is going to sound really cocky. Let me sharpen your skates.
Okay. All right.
I'm very good at it.
All right, go ahead. I wouldn't say I'm picky, but I've definitely had some.
You should be. Everybody should be picky about their skates. I'm at the point where I'm the only one I will allow to sharpen my skates. Maybe one guy at a different shop, but in my shop, and we have a lot of really good people, but I know I can do it really well.
I just grew up not having a choice but to not care. So I never really learned. I didn't
I did too.
Have the best.
Once I got into it and learned it, never going back.
I don't know. I don't know that I'm picky enough to care. But
even when
sharpen my skates, and I will.
I'd still go in and just go right behind the sharpener and do my skates and leave.
Yeah. Well, you can sharpen my skates, and then I'll let you know if I feel a difference. I think I'm going to trip on a penalty shot.
Really?
I think the humor in it and the live barn clip that I'll get out of it is going to be way more
there's
rewarding.
Only humor depending on the game situation, because like you said, it could definitely, the game could be on the line, but if it's not, then it's funny.
But also in the specific situation of me, if the game is on the line and for whatever reason I am the person that ends up in a penalty shot situation, something about that game is fucked up anyway. I am not a game decider. So I wouldn't feel guilty or bad about missing that penalty shot. And I think in any scenario, me eating shit on the ice while everybody is paying attention is 1,000 times better than me missing an empty netter and having to hear about that.
I'd rather miss the empty netter because I think it's more expected of me. If I'm honest.
Yeah, but I'm here to expect the unexpected, and me eating it, trying to take a penalty shot, I think is way, way better. Yeah, that's my answer. But yeah, that's all we have for this week. Unless you've got anything else, Dan.
No, I mean, I miss you. I miss Nick. I haven't seen you in months. I haven't
know.
seen Nick in weeks.
Well, the good thing is Nick is traveling back and forth now.
For now.
For now.
I hope it
Fingers
stays open for him.
It stays like that.
Yeah.
Well, for me too, because I'll get to go see my family soon. I'll be nice and close to Buffalo, so maybe I'll hop over and say hello.
I can find you a skate. Bring your stuff.
All right, sounds good. All right, everybody, have a wonderful week and be good or be good at it.